Hi students, today I am going to explain the concept of IP security. We know that a system contains two types of addresses. One is the logical address and second one is the physical address. So the physical address is identified through the NIC, that is a network interface code, whereas the logical address is identified by the IP, that is an internet protocol address, that is an IP address. So IP address is a logical address in which IP address is the combination of network address and the host address. So that's why IP address equals to net ID plus host ID. Net ID in the sense that is a network ID, network identification, plus host ID is nothing but the host identification. And coming to this, IP address is a 32-bit address. We know that the 32-bit address is categorized into four parts. So each division contains the 8-bit equal. So that's why the IP address is looking like, for example, you can observe 12 dash, 10 dash, 100 dash, 50, like this. So that means, which is defined the dotted decimal notation into the four parts. Each part contains the 8 bits. 8 bits is the maximum value, 0 to 255, that is 256 value. 2 power 8 equals to 256 value. So that means the IP address is looking like the decimal notation which contains the four equal parts, 888 bits. So IP address is the logical address. And coming to the security of this IP. So before we go through the IP security scenario, so what the IP security is a protocol suite which is derived the IETF, that is an Internet Engineering Task Force. So this is one of the standard organization which provides a protocol suite. So wherever the IP security is concerned, so IP security can be identified some of the security issues to add some of the protocol suite to the packet. So because in the network the data can be transmitted through the packet. So each packet is transmitted from source to destination with the packet format. And here similarly in the internet process, the data should be configured with the identification of the datagram. The datagram is nothing but a sum of the standard of the packet, so which may contains the address of that particular packet to send the proper destination. So here where we can take the internet, so that is a main concept, that is, and because in the internet protocol, so the internet can be accessed through the ISOC. ISOC stands for the Internet Society. So we know that Internet Society is an organization which is the combination of the sum of the group of the people. So now coming to the ISOC, ISOC is an appointed one of the board, that is an IAB. So one of the board is appointed by the ISOC, that becomes to the IAB. IAB stands for the Internet Architecture Board. So what the Internet Architecture Board is nothing but the IAB is the technical advisor of the Internet Society. So it is the technical advisor of the Internet Society. So that means whatever the technical standards are verified through the IAB, so the ISOC is taken the confirmation. So whatever the report is given by the IAB, based on that report only the ISOC should follow the, whether the organization maintain the internet standards or not, or any standards. They can be estimated through the report of the IAB. So finally the IAB can decide the main factor of the technical issues, so which are taken by the organization, which are handled by the organization. So that means finally the IAB can be decided whether this organization having this type of standard, so we are recommended the internet provision. So that means based on that only the protocol suite can be taken. So that's why the IP address should be taken like this. So because each and every address should specify one of the identification of the system. So that's why here either the data or in the form of the packet or in the form of the datagram, so which can send to the destination with the help of this particular IP address. Now we go through that what is a main concept of the IP. So IP security provides the capability of secure communication across a LAN, so the local area network. So it provides the capability to secure communication, because here you can identify the IP can be secured. How it can be secured? Now we are going to discuss how it can be secured. So before that, what the IP security, it provides the capability to secure communication across the LAN. Similarly, across private and public wide area networks also, and across the internet. So that means here four types of applications are defined by the IP security. So because once the IP security can handled by the organization, how they can maintain the IP security issues? So in which area that IP security is implemented? So what are the main applications of this particular IP security? So we will focus on that, and later we will discuss how it can provide the IP security. So coming to the first application of this particular IP security is secure branch office connectivity over the internet. So whenever the two branches, either the secured branch office connectivity over the internet, in the sense, if any one network may communicate it to the another network which has to be same configuration or the same standard, so they should be provide the security, because whenever the transmission of the information through the internet, so definitely the information should be protected. So this is the first one, the secured branch office connectivity over the internet. The second one is the secure remote access over the internet. Secure remote access. Remote access in the sense, the remote system is nothing but the system which is located the another location which is located to the another, so far distance or anything. So it will not consider the same region, it will be maintained to the different region. So the secured remote access over the internet, in the sense, whenever we can transmit the information to that system, or we can receive that information from that system. That means we can send the information to the local to the remote, or remote to the local. So which has to be considered. So the information should be secured, because the information should be transmitted through this particular internet process. So that's why we also secure the remote access system, so which has to be maintained the internet process. And third one is the establishing extranet and intranet connectivity with the partners. So actually we can observe this particular thing. So whenever we can use the extranet and intranet process other than the internet, so definitely we can secure that, because how we can provide the security for that extranet and internet is nothing but that is with the help of the IP security only, because of the IP security can be used to secure communication with other organization, ensure authentication and confidentiality, and providing a key exchange mechanism. So here we can observe the three concepts when we can consider the IP security in the establishing of the extranet and the intranet. The first one, it provides because the organization should be established the connection. After that they can provide the communication between the organization. The three concepts are here the possibility. So one is the confidentiality, and second one is the authentication, and third one is the key management. So the key management, in the sense, how the key can be distributed securely both the organization. This is the very important. Later we will discuss this particular concept. And also here the two more points are there, because IP can provide the three functions. So IP security can provide the confidentiality, IP security can be provided the authentication, IP security can be provided the integrity. So integrity, in the sense, that is an one of the security service. So only authorized person can modify the messages. Later we will discuss at the time of the architecture of the IP security. Now coming to the third application of the IP security is so establishing the extranet and intranet connectivity with the partners, because of if both can exchange the message through the internet, so the confidentiality is provided, authentication is provided, and the key management can be provided. So these three are provided through the IP security only. And the fourth application of the IP security is enhancing electronic commerce security. Nowadays without that is an e-commerce. So electronic commerce is the major role in the society, because even we go through the Flipkart or Amazon or different service providers are there, because these are the taken the e-commerce or e-commerce standard. So we can purchase the item, we can identify the item from anywhere in the world. So that means enhancing the electronic security, electronic commerce security with the help of the IP security. Because of every though some web and electronic commerce applications have built-in security protocols. Now we go through that. So the e-commerce technology, not only the item can be purchased or received, we are also transmitting some electronic e-money, the electronic money. So we can transmit it through electronic money, so their security can be concerned. That's why in the web security or this particular email security, electronic commerce security, so should be organized by the IP security only. So these are the 4 important applications of the IP security. So the first one, secured branch office connectivity over the internet, and secured remote access over the internet, and establishing the extranet and intranet connectivity with the partners, and enhancing the electronic commerce security. Now we go through the scenario of this particular IP security. So first you can observe this particular diagram. Now we go through this. The IP packet is nothing but, so you can observe clearly, you can observe this particular clearly, this is an IP packet. So it contains the 2 divisions only, 2 parts only. One is an IP header and second one is the IP payload. First we need to understand how the IP security can be provided. So next, how it can be implemented, that is the next session we are going to discuss. So initially what the IP security is nothing but, this is an initial packet of the IP header and the IP payload. IP header is nothing but the addresses of that particular source and destination destination, and coming to the payload is nothing but the data. So whatever the original data which is sent to the destination, the original data is in the form of the payload. So coming to this is an IP packet. Now you can observe this particular packet is secured of the IP. How it can be provided the security, you can observe. The secured IP packet is nothing but IP header. It is a common, because source and destination IP security header. So one of the header is added in between the IP header and the payload, that is an IP security header. In the next one is nothing but secured IP payload. So that means that the data is encrypted, that is data is secured. How it can be secured is nothing but with the help of the cryptography. We know that. So the data is encrypted in the form of the, so any public key or the private key encryption or the conventional encryption or the hash function. There are so many techniques are there to convert the payload message, that is the message, into the different standard. So that means here IP header and the IP security header is the pair of the key role of this particular packet which is added in between the header and the payload. So how it can be provided the security? Now you can observe a networking device with the IP security. So here important concept is a device which is the mediation in between the 2 parties. So that is a networking device, a device which may be the router or the gateway, okay, or the socket or anything. So any intermediation device can transmit that IP packet to the destination. So whenever the IP packet is prepared, the IP header and the IP payload, so whenever that packet is transmitted through the IP security device, it automatically converts into the different format. So that means in between one format is added, one field is added, that is an IP security header. That IP security header is in between the IP header and the secured IP payload. So now we go through that. Here one of the device can be provided the IP security. Now we go through that which device and what is the concept is involved in this particular IP security. So finally we can understand. So the IP packet is nothing but the 2 fields only, which contains the IP header and the IP payload, and after that we have to be observed one more field is added in between these 2 when it can be transmitted through a device with IP security, with having the IP security, then it will be converted into IP header and the IP security header and secured IP payload. So this is the important concept related to the IP. In the next video I am going to explain how this particular IP security can be implemented. Thank you.